My name's Dan Dinsmore. I played the role of drums, percussion, helping assist with, producing and all the things that went along with the Clay People.
I am Daniel Neat, the master criminal mind behind the Clay People. The band was started by myself and a friend of mine at the time, Pete Porto. We didn't really play heavy music in the beginning, but we were a bunch of angry kids and we kind of moved towards heavier music. The band doesn't really come together until Mike Faleni, who at the time was in a band called Attica, he introduced me to Brian McGarvey. Brian and I kind of took the band in a direction because we had a pretty strong bond. We had a lot of similar interests. Dan Dinsmore came in. He was from a band called East Wall, which I didn't know anything more than their name. And then he came in and played. I was like, wow, this guy's really good. Those guys interpreting the music is what actually started moving the band forward. I definitely have to say that the band didn't really find its face until Brian and Danny, Mike Azari and Dan Dinsmore came into the band.
I got involved around 97, I believe. It's a while back. It was just a lot of live music. There was a big scene. There was a real huge synergy in the band with some people that, I got to play with that I really respected and knew.
Our biggest goal in life was to play the QE2, which was 5 blocks down from where we lived at the time, but that was our biggest accomplishment.
There was also a big independent types of underground alternative scene, and it had a major effect on the direction of the band. So it was a very, very collaborative environment. The Clay People sound kind of continued to just evolve. So there was more experimentation going on.
We all hit a creative wave at some time. When it comes, you got to grab onto it and unleash the power of that creative wave. And fortunately enough for us, we did hit those waves. They came at the right moment. We created some really strong and powerful tracks, in the history of the band. Brian would come in with a bunch of riff ideas. And from that, I would kind of go towards what I would gravitate towards and try to piece some things together. The icing on the cake is when Dinsmore would put the rhythm section down. That's when everything would start to show its face a little bit more than just these basic ideas that we had.
I think we were kind of unique a little bit, different than some of the other bands that were playing, and we kind of had our own style and our own sound due to all those that group of people playing together. Obviously after the release of the self-titled record, huge moment for the band. It was almost overnight. We were, got a lot of national and international attention. Edgefest was definitely a pivotal show for us.
And when they offered us the Edge Fest the first time, the radio station wanted us to do this battle of the bands, right? And we're like, no, we don't battle our friends, not realizing how much that particular festival was going to have an effect on us. The second Edge Fest that we played, we were offered the main stage early or to headline the second stage in Altamont Fairgrounds, where when we went on, the sun was just going down behind the mountains. The timing was just perfect. The band couldn't have been more connected that day. Looking out at a sea of people, I don't even know how many people were there. That's one of the most memorable shows. I can't really think of many more because we played with great bands, we toured with great bands.
We were set to go on a pretty big tour, and when the pandemic hit, all the tours got canceled. And since then, it's been kind of quiet, because, we're not 30. But yeah, we've been on a hiatus. We are definitely still wanting to make music. I think ultimately we have a few more records in us.
I do enjoy still writing music, and we do put out a record every couple of years because it doesn't stop. You just don't turn it off.
For me personally, being able to have the experience of being able to write music with Brian McGarvey and Mike Gazzardi and Dan Neat, to be honest with you, when I got in the Clay People, I didn't understand that type of music, and I'm just thankful I had the opportunity to play with such a great group of people. There was a magic and still that spark of magic to even be able to feel that and still be able to have that. I think that's just what made it so special and so unique.